fight is on. I'll hold my ground. I'm gonna crash the lies of the enemy. I won't back down, 'cause I'm not alone. With you, my God, I'll conquer anything. In you I have the victory, victory. You're the undefeated. I know that you're the risen King, risen King. You're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. The fight is on. I'll hold my ground. I'm gonna crash the lies of the enemy. But when I doubt, he won't knock me out. 'Cause I know, my God, you fight for me. In you I have the victory, victory. You're the undefeated. I know that you're the risen King, risen King. You're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. I will fight, I will rise above. In you, my God, I am strong enough. I will fight, I will rise above. In you, my God, I am strong enough. I will fight, I will rise above. You, my God, I am strong enough. I will fight, I will rise above. You, my God, I am strong enough. In you I have the victory, victory. You're the undefeated. I know that you're the risen King, risen King. You're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated. Oh, Jesus, you're the undefeated.
You've been down long enough, no more walking in shame. 'Cause the way that he loves you isn't something you can change. You've been running in circles, but you can't hide from grace. 'Cause the way that he loves you isn't something you can change. Just like Lazarus out of that grave, our God rewrites history. Jesus, you change everything when you pour your spirit out. Just like Silas singing with Paul, praise can break down prison walls. Jesus, you can have it all. Won't you pour your spirit out?
Welcome to the Wonder Inc. Broadcast News. I'm your host, Allison, and today we'll be meeting a man who might be the most unusual person on the entire planet. Not only is he a bit strange, but he has also started the most unique zoo you'll ever see. But more on that in a moment. First, let's check in with Grant, who clearly loves how beautiful the weather is today.
Thanks, Allison, and you're right. Today must be the most amazing day of the entire year. There's not one single cloud in the sky, and the temperature is marvelous. In fact, here's the forecast for the entire week. Sunny and splendid.
Thanks, Grant. We won't take this wonderful weather for granted.
I love it. Take it for granted.
Now back to our main story. Our special reporter Riley has been sent out to find the strangest man on the planet and his unusual zoo. Riley, can you hear me?
Yes, you are right here with Riley, and I'm interviewing a man named Noah who has to be the most unusual man on the planet.
Well, I guess that's true. I mean, all the people around me only care about themselves. They do mean and harmful things. What I care about are making the right choices and trusting in God. Still, all those around me are living lives full of sin.
Sin? Where do you think that came from?
First, God made everything, and it was very good. He even made us, humans.
I have that report right here. Yes, God made day and night, water and land, plants and animals. And the first people who he made in his image to reflect what he is like were named Adam and Eve.
Yes, they're given everything they needed to have a wonderful life and to bring order to all that God has made. But they chose to disobey God. That's how sin entered the world.
Sin is any wrong thing that we do. It separates people from God. After Adam and Eve sinned, sin became a part of all people and all things in creation. This report here shows that sin has been on the rise ever since Adam and Eve first disobeyed God.
How do you think that makes God feel?
He became very sad.
Yes, according to this biblical report, God said, "I created human beings, but I will wipe them out."
Wow, sin is a very serious thing, but God saw one person who wasn't living sinfully. That's you, Noah. God saw that you make right choices and honor God through the way you live. So what happened?
God told me to build a giant boat, and he told me he was going to destroy the sinful people on the earth.
Giant boat, huh? Just how big did you think you had to make it?
Actually, God told me exactly how big to make it. I didn't have to guess.
So you built this massive boat.
We call it the Ark.
Ark. Okay. Why did you build such a massive ark? You're just one guy.
Well, I was just doing what God told me to do. God also told me to gather every kind of animal onto the ark. 1 male and 1 female of some kinds and 7 pairs of other kinds. I did everything God told me to do. Now the ark is done, and the supplies and all of my animals are inside. And my family, my wife, and my sons, and their wives are all ready to board the ark.
We interrupt the interview with some very bizarre breaking news. Grant, what's happening?
I can't believe what's happening. Out of nowhere, a colossal storm is forming. We have never seen anything like this.
God made it rain nonstop for 40 days and nights. The waters rose and rose until it was 20 feet higher than any mountaintop. The waters flooded the earth for 150 days. But God faithfully remembered Noah and the animals on the ark. He sent a wind over the earth and the waters began to go down. Eventually the ark came to rest on dry land. Riley is once again with Noah, who we regret calling strange. Clearly he was listening and following God. Riley, are you there?
Noah, you were on the ark for a long time. Tell the viewers, what was it like? I'll bet it was smelly with all those animals.
Well, God was with us the entire time. He is faithful.
Tell me, what was the first thing you did when you came out of the ark? Did you run around and roll in the grass?
Honestly, I was so thankful to God for saving my family and me that the first thing I did was build him an altar and worship him. He's the one who kept us safe through the flood. He is always faithful and does what he says he will do.
Did you hear from God again?
Yes, God was pleased with our worship. He blessed my sons and said they were to have children so that there are so many of you, fill the earth. God made an unbreakable promise, a covenant, with me and with everyone who will ever live on the earth. He promised that he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. God had put a rainbow in the sky as a reminder of his promise.
Thank you, Noah. You've been right there with Riley. Allison, back to you in the studio.
Riley, thanks for finding Noah. And thank you, Noah, for sharing your story. It certainly was a wild ride. The The story of Noah is so wonderful and completely true. God was faithful to Noah through the flood, and God is still faithful to us today. Every time you see a rainbow, you can remember God's faithfulness. I'm glad we got to meet Noah and learn from his story that God is faithful and that God values obedience and righteousness. I'm Allison, and you heard it here with the entire WIBN team. God honors righteousness. That's all for today's segment, but remember, stay curious and filled with wonder.
What's up, guys? My name is Joseph. Let's stand up and do our memory verse. So I want you to realize that the Lord your God is God. He is a faithful God. He keeps his covenant for all time to come. He keeps it with those who love him and obey his commandments. He shows them his love. Deuteronomy 7:9. Boop. Awesome. Now let's do that one more time. So I want you to realize that the Lord your God is God. He is a faithful God. He keeps his covenant for all time to come. He keeps it with those who love him and obey his commandments. He shows them his love. Deuteronomy 7:9. Boop.